Peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Allan Keislar, and though I'm in America, I'm always thinking about Pakistan. अमेरिका में बैठकर भी मैं हमेशा पाकिस्तान के बारे में सोचता रहता हूँ, because Pakistan is not an ordinary place. Pakistan is that place where, inshallah, pure Islam will be reestablished. That is, love, truth, justice, forgiveness, mercy, compassion, and service to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the God of all, and service to all of God's creation. पाकिस्तान वो जगह है जहाँ इंशाल्लाह पाक इस्लाम फिर कायम हो जाएगा, इंशाल्लाह मोहब्बत, इंसाफ, सच्चाई और खिदमत, दूसरों की खिदमत और अल्लाह सुब्हान व तआला की खिदमत. तो मैं देखूँगा किसी के कोई सवाल हैं, लेकिन पहले मैं कुरान शरीफ के तौबा, सूरह तौबा का 59वां आयत पढ़ूँगा. First, I'm going to read the 59th verse of the Surah Repentance, the 9th Surah of the Holy Quran, and then I will see what questions or comments we have. If only they had been content with what Allah and His Messenger gave them and had said, "Sufficient unto us is Allah. Allah and His Messenger will soon give us of His bounty. To Allah do we turn our hopes." That would have been the right course. So we are talking about those who don't want to give in charity, don't want to give alms or zakat. They're happy to get it, but don't want to give. So we should just be content with what Allah has ordained, what God has ordained for us. That is sufficient for us. And we should be patient. तो जो कुछ अल्लाह हमें देता है वो काफ़ी है हमारे लिए, और जो रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम देता है. जो ज़कात नहीं देना चाहते हैं, जो चाहते हैं कि मुझे कुछ दिया जाए, उनके लिए यहाँ लिखा गया है. उनके बारे में तो बस अल्लाह पर भरोसा हमें रखना है कि वो हमें देगा जो हमें चाहिए. हुज़ूर पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जो जानते हैं हमारे लिए क्या अच्छा है, वो हमें मिलेगा, वो बंदोबस्त करेंगे. अल्लाह पाक से वही दुआ करेंगे हमारे लिए, और हमें सब कुछ मिलेगा, कोई शक नहीं, जो हमें चाहिए. किसी चीज़ से डरना नहीं, किसी चीज़ को मांगना नहीं, सिर्फ या मालिक हमें तेरी खिदमत में लगा दे, बस ये एक ही दुआ होना चाहिए. Our only prayer should be, "Oh God, let me serve you." Other than that, He will give us what is best for us. We should be confident. Okay. We'll see what questions or comments we have received. देखूंगा कौन से सवाल या comments हैं. Fawad Khan कह रहा है, "Sir, how can one tell that the messages we are getting in our brain are directly from God, or they are making of our own imagination?" Very good question. The answer is only by practice we can find out, we can learn by our mistakes. Of course, if it is in accordance with the Holy Scriptures, then it may be message directly from God, and if it's contrary, probably it's not. But if it's in accordance with scriptural instruction, and it's based on the principles of love and truth and justice, then it may be from God, or it may not be. So we only have to keep praying, especially doing zikr, calling on the name of God, purify our hearts. The more our hearts become purified, the more easily we can understand what is God's instruction to us and what is our own imagination. So it's a long journey. Just keep going, keep praying, and gradually we improve our understanding and our impurity and our purity. Inshallah. Jawad Mumtaz, will Kashmir be independent or will be part of Pakistan after Ghazwa-e-Hind? Kashmir will be independent internally. This is what I have been told. Kashmiris will run their own affairs internally, and externally, India and Pakistan will become one. Pakistan and India together, working together in love and in truth and justice, will take care of the external affairs of Kashmir. That's what I've been told. Ali Haidar Wagans, peace be upon you, sir. Automatically translated. Wa alaikum salam, Ali Haidar Waganji. Kamal Zubair says, what happens after death? Will we have another life? What kind of life will it be, physical or spiritual? What is your source of information in this regard? Oh, very good question. Well, I've said many times I have died. I once had a near-death experience, so I can speak from that with confidence that I'm probably not misunderstanding it. After death, we definitely have another life, which is not physical. At least the world that I went into when I died, it was not physical. It was another world other than this world that we're in now, or another dimension, you might say. So I believe that immediately we go into another dimension other than this world that we're living in now. And there, our future will be determined according to what we have done, how we have lived, and according to our desires, according to our qualifications. Where we will go will be determined. Will it be a heavenly life, a hellish life? That all depends on many different factors. So that was my own experience. I was actually asked, what do I want to do? Do I want to go on to, I guess it was a spiritual reality, or do I want to come back to this physical earth? And I decided to come back because I felt I had more I wanted to do in this lifetime, especially promote love and harmony, understanding between people of different religions. So the source of my information was my own experience. And otherwise, there are many different sources that seem often to be contradictory, and I don't really understand how to resolve all those conflicts, but I've given the best answer I could. Atiq Ahmed, hi, how are you? Atiq, Pakistan. Murray, oh, I have been to Murray, a very beautiful place in the hills. Nice to meet you, Atiq Ahmed ji. Ayesha Khan says, sir, kal aapne मेरे लिए दुआ की थी तो मैं बहुत रिलैक्स हो गई थी. सर, अल्लाह आपको और आपकी फैमिली को हेल्थी लॉन्ग लाइफ अता करे. आमीन. शुक्रिया. Sahibzada Pir Mahbub Rabbani, Assalamu alaikum, pray for me. Oh God, please bless Sahibzada Pir Mahbub Rabbani. Atiq Ahmed says, love to see you and khushi hui aapki ruhani parwaz dekhkar. Sudhir Ahmed says, Assalamu alaikum, respected Babaji. All the institutions, be it religious and educational and economic or commercial, all are under the influence of Illuminati, with exception, and these institutions have been under their control since decades. How these institutions get away from these satanic people? They almost hack the world economy. Very good question, very important question. And I agree with you that almost all the religious, educational, economic, and commercial, political, especially the world governments, are under the influence of the Illuminati, that is this satanic cabal, a very, very powerful, wealthy bankers, royalty, satanic people. They literally worship Satan. And there are very few governments in the world, practically no banks very few educational systems, and very few big, especially commercial and businesses that are not under their strong influence or direct total control. And not only since decades, but even for centuries, this has been their program to control everything in the world. So how can these institutions get away from these satanic people? Well, I would say first of all prayer, and then very prayerful and intelligent planning. And I'll give one example, my favorite example, that when President Kennedy was assassinated, there were people in the American military who observed and saw how the truth was being covered up. So since that time, 1963, so that means more than 50 some years, those people in the American military, good people, they were planning how can we counteract this. Very evil, powerful people. They controlled the media. That's one of their main avenues of success, has been to control the media. So they prevent the truth from coming out about Kennedy's assassination. And they created a false narrative. Even the Supreme Court of the United States and Warren Commission supported that false story. So they have been planning for decades how to fight against the Illuminati. And when 9/11 happened, especially, they were fed up. They said, we have to end this, because they understood that 9/11 was also engineered by these same satanic, very, very powerful people who at that time totally controlled the American government. The President Bush, George W. Bush, was totally under their control, was their chumcha, their sycophant. And Vice President Cheney was one of the chief organizers of 9/11. So they were quite totally in control of the American government at that time. So the military, these good people in the military, decided we have to. They were even considering doing a military coup and establishing martial law, but they realized that would not be a very good plan. The American people would not accept it. There's never been a military coup in the United States. There have been attempted coups. The cabal itself, the Illuminati, attempted a coup of when President Roosevelt was not under their total control, was not doing just what they wanted. They tried to remove him. Fortunately, again, it was good people in the American military who prevented that from happening. But no successful coup d'etat has ever happened. There's never been a military takeover. So these good people in the American military decided we better not do that. It will cause too much disruption and a civil war. So they decided the best way to do it is to oppose the Illuminati's rigging of elections. Just like we know George W. Bush actually lost both the elections in which he became president. But they rigged everything, and so they were doing this for a long time. They've been rigging the even elections of the president and of prime ministers, and all over the world they rig elections. So the military decided to stop that, especially by electronic machines, electronic voting machines. So the military prevented that from happening, and then they asked Donald Trump to please run for president. He refused. He didn't want to do it. They knew that he was independent of the cabal's total control. He had a lot of money of his own. He was a very wealthy, successful businessman, and he was a real American patriot. He was not in favor of these one world government people. He was not under their control. So finally they convinced Trump to run for president, and they supported him mainly by preventing the rigging of the election. And so, much to everyone's surprise, the Illuminati never expected that they would not be able to rig this election too, but Trump won. So this is how to get an institution out from under their control. They did a lot of praying. They're very pious, God-fearing gentlemen and gentlewomen in the American military who organized this. And so prayer definitely is the first step. And then with God's mercy, a good person, a sincere person, a truthful person who is not under the control of the Illuminati can become the leader. So that's one example of how the American government, of course the struggle is still going on, and then once he got into power, because the American president has a lot of power, Trump started removing all the satanic people from all the top positions practically, the heads of the FBI and CIA and Department of Justice, and all of them were corrupt under the influence of the Illuminati. So Trump gradually started removing them, and he started appointing judges, because most of the judges in America were corrupt. So Trump has literally appointed hundreds of judges, federal judges, and all the judges that he had the power to appoint, he has been appointing, and I think he's practically completed that now. So now there are a lot of good judges, so now there can be trials of these corrupt people. If he had done it earlier, they would have been arrested. Trump could have had them arrested, but then in the courts they would have been let off because the courts and the judges were so corrupt. But now there are enough good people that these trials are now proceeding. So isn't that a wonderful story? A very good question, Sudhir Ahmedji. And this is actually what has happened. And this is why the world is now changing. And this is one of the reasons why we have the COVID-19, because the Illuminati became afraid. They realized that Trump is draining the swamp, as he said he would do. He's getting rid of all these corrupt Illuminati-controlled people. So they're desperately trying to prevent Trump from getting elected again. They're desperately trying to fulfill their agenda of taking over the world by destroying the world economy and introducing their digital economy, which they 100% control, so nobody could buy or sell anything without their knowledge and control. They had so many plans that have now been foiled by the American military and President Trump and other good people around the world also supporting. And at the same time, or a little bit later, Prime Minister Imran Khan has gained power in Pakistan, and he is also a good, sincere man who is fighting against the Illuminati's influence. So let us keep praying, and Allah Malik hai, God is in control. He is in control of the Illuminati also. So as we pray and do good deeds, are kind to our neighbors and our family members, and are truthful and honest, everything will turn out for the well. Everything will turn out for the good of everyone. So it's happening already. But thank you for that very good question, and giving me a chance to give a very good answer. Fawad Khan, do birds, animals, and insects have got soul like us as well? Will they go to heaven or hell as well? Thanks for answering. Allah bless you. Ameen. Well, definitely birds and animals and even insects and even plants do have consciousness. And as I understand it, consciousness is a symptom of the soul. So they have some sort of soul. Not so developed as ours, but and do they go to heaven or hell as well? That's a very good question. I don't think that animals and birds and insects have much free will, so they're not punished and rewarded the way human beings are. But it's a very good question, and I don't know what happens to plants and animals after they die. To what extent what happens to them as a result of their actions in this life. I don't know. Sheen Goff says, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Have you ever been to KPK? Yes, I have several times. What is your impression of them? I love the people of KPK are very chivalrous, is I think the best word. They're very honorable and dedicated, which is for the most part very good. They also are very traditional. They have their tribal customs, which is sometimes very good and sometimes not so good if they have a tradition that's not so good. Do you find them inclined towards Sufism or not? Yes, I found many of them inclined towards Sufism because traditionally they have been inclined towards jihad. Well, there's no contradiction between jihad and Sufism, actually. They can be two arms of one person. they can work together. So yes, the Pashtun people have always been very good fighters and very good defenders of truth and justice also. So, but I did a lot of people also in KPK. आइए आपसे एक दो बातें डिस्कस करनी हैं पर यहाँ नहीं कर सकती. क्या आपको इनबॉक्स कर दूँ आफ्टर लाइव चैट? आप चेक कर लें. थैंक्स. शायद मैं एकदम चेक नहीं कर सकूँगा लेकिन करूँगा इंशाल्लाह, क्योंकि मेरा बेटा भी हमारे कल आया था और हमारे साथ है अभी, तो चैट के बाद होऊंगा और शायद आज नहीं बल्कि कल तक ज़रूर इंशाल्लाह मैं आपका जवाब दूंगा. आपको इनबॉक्स देखूंगा और दूंगा. राजा हरिसी, sir, मुझे आपसे, excuse me, if you praying by your heart with full is listening, you will automatically feel that God is talking to you, giving you instructions. Very nice comment. Yes, very true. God is definitely listening to us all the time, and if we are praying with our full heart and head or heed, He definitely is listening to us, and He will answer us. And He may not give the answer we want, and it may be hard for us to believe or accept. He definitely is always giving everyone good instruction, and mostly people don't listen very well. And therefore we suffer because of that. But yes, definitely. Thank you very much. Very good comment. Sudhir Ahmed says, indigenous people should find the way out to free the world economy from these Illuminati and should plan and launch worldwide economy which work for the welfare of humanity regardless of their religion, creed, and caste system. Oh, yes, I believe that the indigenous people of the world will help tremendously in this transformation that is now happening from this old Illuminati-controlled, selfish-based economy to a economy for the welfare of humanity. Very nice point. Humaira Durrani, Salam, hope you are fine and doing well. I am doing well, thank you. I hope you are well also. Akram Shafi says, please tell the 6 families. Well, I don't know all of them, but I know there are a very few, whether it's 5 or 6 or 10 or 15. I've heard 13 also, leading very wealthy families. I know the Rothschilds are one of the leading ones, and Rockefellers and Warburgs, and what are some of the others in Europe. There are a number of families who are interwoven. They're all interconnected under the direct, maybe indirect, but and they are trying desperately to gain total control of the whole world under a satanic government which they administer. That's their plans. So those are a few of the ones that I know their names. I know royal families. The royal families of Europe, they also are involved in this, and these interconnected families who are leaders of the world. आपको देख के ईमान ताज़ा हो जाता है. Okay, she also goes on, you are so, no, not true. Zubair Tahir says, Salam Babaji, aapko, sorry, same thing. Zubair Gorea says, I want to know that you are a spiritual inspired person, and if you have a right path that only religion Islam, then why you call God like wise others religions? Because you are right, the only right path is Islam, but Islam does not mean what you think. I've said this many, many times. In 2012, I had a vision of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. At that time, he told me, you are already a Muslim. And he said, you understand what it means to be a Muslim. And the people who think of themselves as Muslim, they don't really understand what is Islam or what it means to be a Muslim. So you think that to be a Muslim means only to follow the teachings of Holy Prophet Muhammad and not the teachings of other prophets and teachers from God. So that is your misunderstanding. Islam means all paths taught by all spiritual teachers. They're all Islam. So there is only one path, that is surrender to God. It is not what you think of Islam. Islam means surrender to God. So when the Holy Quran says that this is the one religion approved by God, Islam, that means surrender to God. It doesn't mean what you think of when you say Islam. I know for sure. Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, personally told me that. Akram Shafi says, I am your new viewer. Sir, please explain the bloodlines of Satan and how USA got power, how they control world governments so planned. Well, this is a very long question and long answer, I mean. I don't know all the details of it, but we do know that the Rothschild family, they took over the banks, the banking systems of the world, and they gained a lot of power, and they gave loans to governments. They started wars, and then the governments of both sides in the war, they all had to get money. When you have a war, you need weapons, you need ammunition. So they had to borrow money from these Rothschilds especially, and the way they got so much money and so much power, then they loaned on interest, of course, and then when the governments could not pay back the interest, then they said, well, since you can't pay the interest, you have to do this or that. Structural adjustments. They're still doing it to all the countries of the world. Started in Europe, but now all greatly to them, almost all at least. And so they can practically force the countries to do what they want because they are in debt to them. All the governments are indebted to them. So that was one of the main ways they did it. But it was all by deception and cheating. Okay. Raja Haris Bhatti, sir, what is your opinion about the Arab countries' behavior towards Jews, Israel? Because you know that Israel was not accepted by the Muslim countries, but now they are bowing towards Israel. Well, I can say two things about this. One, the Arab countries are not such good Muslims as they have been in the past and as they have pretended to be. Yes, they are often being indirectly controlled by the Satanists, so they are bowing towards Israel. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is that the Jews themselves are also divided, just like Muslims are divided between those who are bowing towards satanic forces, are controlled by satanic forces, and Muslims who are good, sincere, kind, truthful, loving, just people. So similarly, there are good Jews and there are bad Jews too. They have their plan, and the pure-hearted, true followers of Moses act on principles of love and justice and accept foreigners as their own brothers and sisters. That's the instruction of the Torah. Foreigners should be treated when they come to you. They should be treated as your own people. So the good Jews are acting like that, and the satanic Jews are not really Jews, but they call themselves Jews. Those people are acting just the opposite way, unjustly, very horribly, committing so many atrocities, especially against the Palestinians. So my opinion is that the solution to this problem is going to be when the real Muslims begin reciting the Jewish prayers and the real Jews begin reciting namaz, especially in Masjid al-Aqsa. I've been told that will happen, told by Holy Prophet, peace be upon him himself, and a very wonderful audience I had just last year. I was thinking it was in September, but then I checked and it was actually October. So in October of last year, the Holy Prophet told me when the Muslims and Sikhs in Pakistan, in Punjab especially, they begin reciting each other's prayers, then love and unity will come about between Muslims and Sikhs, between Pakistan and Khalistan, and this will lead to world peace. He was smiling very happily, and then he began laughing. And he said, and when the Jews and the Muslims in Israel and Palestine begin reciting each other's prayers, that will solve this horrible, horrible injustices that are being committed against the Palestinian people and against the good Jews also by the same Satanists. The Satanists, they are also against the good Jews, you know. So when that happens and the true, sincere Jews and Muslims begin reciting each other's prayers, then that will also bring about world peace. It will bring about peace in the West Asia, in the Near East, and it will bring about peace in the world. So that's my opinion. Fawad Khan, sir, like our universe, do other universes have got their own devil, Satan entity as well? Maybe, maybe not. This is only Satan is a historical personality. He's not a sort of principle that is present everywhere in all universes. So even in our universe, in our galaxy, Satan was given power over, I think, only about half a dozen planets. I may be slightly off on that, but some, I don't know exactly, tens of thousands of years ago maybe. This is according to extraterrestrial sources. Satan was a powerful administrator in the system of the universal administration, and he rebelled against God. And so a number of the planets that were under his jurisdiction, he convinced the leaders of those planets to go along with him in his rebellion. So so it seems that you're asking, so I don't know about other universes or other galaxies, but I have heard from extraterrestrial sources that of our galaxy, where the Earth planet is, and maybe half a dozen, I can't remember exact number, other planets also came under Satan's control. And God gave him permission to do what he could to mislead humanity and the people of those other planets. It's coming to an end, so I don't know about other universes. But I do know even in our own galaxy, there were not most areas that had our Satan over controlling them. Akram Shafi says, I read Bush Freemason serving to Satan. Yes, no doubt about that. Sayyid Kashif Hussain Kazmi says, oh, peace be upon you, automatically translated. Wa alaikum salam, Sayyid Sahib. Akram Shafi says, how Trump got in power without Illuminati support? Oh, very good question. I already told the story. I just recounted how they supported him and prevented the rigging of the electronic voting machines. So that's how Trump was able to get into power without the Illuminati support, because of the support of the good people in the American military. And it was a great struggle, and the struggle is still going on. They're still desperately, this whole COVID, another aspect of this COVID-19 is to try to prevent Trump from getting reelected, because they know if Trump gets reelected now, they're finished. So it's not, he got it without Illuminati support, but rather with their, in the beginning actually, they didn't believe that Trump could win. So in the Republican nomination, if you know a little about the history and the system of American government, when the Republican nomination was being fought, they didn't try to stop Trump, because they thought they wanted Hillary Clinton to become the president of the United States, and she was scheduled to start World War III, by the way. So, but they didn't think Trump would win, so they didn't oppose him. Anyway, they sort of even supported him, because they thought, oh, if Trump becomes the Republican nominee, then certainly Hillary Clinton will win, because Trump is such a, he has no experience or knowledge. Didn't oppose him. But when he became the nominee, and then he started getting so much support, they did everything they could to stop him. And there's a very good book, which I've just finished reading, called, by Dave Hayes, called Calm Before the Storm. that book fully explains what's really happening in the United States and how the Illuminati have done everything they could to try to prevent from becoming president. Even after he won the election, they were trying to stop him by some means or the other. Okay, Mirza Saima, if Trump is so good, why is he helping Netanyahu to build a third temple and annexation of Gaza Strip? I have explained many times that there are two types of Zionists, the satanic Zionists and the religious Zionists, the Christian and Jewish Zionists. So they both believe the same thing about Jerusalem. They both believe that Jerusalem will be the capital of the world, or at least the spiritual center of the world. So the Satanists want that government, world government, to be established with its capital in Jerusalem under the control of Satan. And the religious Zionists want that world government to be controlled by God and by pious people. So that's the only answer I can give. You know, frankly, I was a little confused also. And I did not support Trump in the beginning. I did not vote for him to be president. I didn't understand what he's really doing. A little bit. I mean, I could not vote for Hillary Clinton. She was a total Satanist. She literally worships Satan, and even there are videos of her sacrificing children, abusing children and sacrificing. So Hillary Clinton definitely was a Satanist. But I could not vote for Trump either for one of the reasons, because of he wasn't supporting Islam. He was sort of opposed to Islam. Of course, that he misunderstood Islam. He was thinking type of Islam. So that, of course, Muslims also, good Muslims, are opposed to terrorism, because Islam is against terrorism. So Trump is against that sort of Islam, but he didn't really understand and appreciate Islam. So I did not vote for Trump. And then when he started supporting Israel, Trump and the American military were instrumental in putting in Mohammed bin Salman. He was actually a good man compared to the previous very, very corrupt leadership in Saudi Arabia. So not only in America, but in other places too, Trump and the American military are removing the satanic leadership. So I'm convinced now. I'm 100% convinced. I've decided I'm going to vote for Trump. Even though there are some things about him I don't like, he definitely is fighting against the Illuminati. And that's the most important thing to be done in the world. There's a lot of proof of that. So, and in terms of what he's doing in Israel, I'm convinced it's because he is a Christian Zionist. He actually believes that Jerusalem will become the capital, at least a spiritual center of the world. He's a Christian. So Christians all believe Jerusalem should be the center of the world spiritually. And of course, Jews believe that. So religious Jews believe that. So I believe that Trump is a religious Zionist, not a satanic Zionist. Okay, Umair Khan, you did not reply me. I think I must have, because I don't remember what was your question. Anyway, if I didn't reply you, then ask again, because maybe I didn't see it. Lynn Chittick says, great, Allan. Hi, Lynn. Nice to have you with us. I'm glad you appreciate this. A lot of people don't. A lot of people get freaked out by such ideas that there's a one world satanic cabal who is trying to totally control the whole world, and this COVID-19 is part of their plan. So I'm glad that you think it's great. A lot of people have opposed me because of this. Even friends and family members think it's too weird, too strange to be so much against the former American government before Trump. Saifuddin says, you suggested a book about the reality Osama bin Laden. Could you please tell me again? I didn't understand your accent. It's not about Osama bin Laden, although I don't know if you're talking about what. The book I just mentioned this morning is by Dave Hayes, D-A-V-E-H-A-Y-E-S, I believe. and it is called Calm Before the Storm. Calm, C-A-L-M, before, B-E-F-O-R-E, the, T-H-E, storm, S-T-O-R-M. So you can get it on Barnes & Noble. I got it through Barnes & Noble. You can also get it from Amazon, but I always try to avoid using Amazon because it is totally satanic organization. But yes, Calm Before the Storm. Very, very good book. Explains about how Trump became president and how the Illuminati and the satanic forces are trying to prevent him. And it also that information about what happened in Saudi Arabia and how Saudi Arabia was extremely wealthy and President Trump froze their assets. President Trump, I think it was December 21st, 2017, President Trump issued not only one, but some executive orders allowing him and empowering him to freeze the wealth of anyone engaged in human trafficking, especially, and total, corruption like that, genocide, and using that power that he gave himself by that executive order, he froze all the assets of the Saudi royal family. And then he removed the former corrupt ones and put in a much better person. And of course, the mass media is all against Mohammed bin Salman because he is not under their control. So this is in that book, and there are a lot of incredible things. So definitely, I advise you to get that book and read it. Sayyid Kashif Hussein Kazmi says, I felt this triad of Boris, Trump, and Imran have same agenda. Yes, they all are against the one world globalist agenda. As far as I can tell, they all are working against the Illuminati. Asad Mahmood says, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Your views about the deen or beliefs which Akbar, king of subcontinent, wanted to impose, called the deen-e-ilahi, please. No, that was a mistake. Akbar did not understand that he cannot create a new religion. He tried to, you can say that he wanted to totally control. He was, of course, the emperor, but he had some good things about him and some bad things about him. The good thing he did want to promote a love and harmony between all different people of different religions, but he definitely made a big mistake, thinking that he could create a one religion under his authority. So that's my views of him. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to read all the comments, but Umair Khan says, can you tell me what is Area 51? Because U.S. government and armed forces hiding this fact. Yes, Area 51 is an area in Nevada, the state of Nevada, which is next to California, where they have many extraterrestrial craft that they had captured and are reverse engineering, and there are also extraterrestrials working together with the American military there. And the U.S. government for years denied it even existed. I think now they've admitted it exists at least, but everyone knows it exists now. But what's interesting is, the most interesting thing to me about Area 51 is that President Eisenhower wanted to find out. He heard about Area 51 and wanted to find out, and they refused to tell him. The military there, the extraterrestrials also, who were involved, they decided not to tell the President of the United States. So Eisenhower had to threaten them that he would invade Area 51 with the American Army. So anyway, then President Eisenhower gave a warning to the American people, and his last speech, his last public speech as president, very important and very significant speech, in which he said that beware of the military-industrial complex. And he specifically was referring to those people that were controlling Area 51 because he realized that he was unable to totally control them. And he said that the unwarranted power, these people had gotten too much power, and they are now continuing. The struggle is continuing between the good people like President Eisenhower and President Trump and the satanic people who are working together with evil extraterrestrials. There are good extraterrestrials, very good ones, and there are evil ones. So some people in the, especially the military, the CIA especially, the intelligence agencies, and in the, what were they called, the companies that were running these programs at Area 51 and other places also. They have Nevada where they are reverse engineering extraterrestrial craft, and they know all these secrets which they have kept secret. But gradually, Trump is releasing this knowledge. They have had a secret space program running based on this reverse engineering of extraterrestrial technology for decades. The CIA and American military have been running programs going out into space. Secret space program, it's called. And they have gone to Moon and Mars many times, not only on Apollo 11. After that, also many times they've gone beyond, even, believe it or not, not only beyond the solar system, they've gone to other star systems also. And they are currently engaging in trade, or they were. I've heard that it was prevented. Good extraterrestrials stopped that human trafficking, and human beings were being taken off planet to be used as slaves and for other purposes, very evil purposes. So that all began mostly in Area 51. Okay, but the good forces are overpowering these evil ones now, fortunately. Okay, Muhammad Shabir, मेरे लिए दुआ करे या मालिक अल्लाह. Muhammad Shabir पर रहम फरमा. Okay, Sahabat Arshad says, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Is it good sign of becoming temple in Pakistan? Yes, I'd say it's good, because the basic principle of Qaid-e-Azam, Rahmatullah alayhi, the basic principle of Pakistan was that minorities are also have freedom to practice their religions. So building temples is part of the religion, so it's a sign that Pakistan is actually supporting the principles of Qaid-e-Azam and the constitution of Pakistan. Javed Iqbal Khokar says, Assalamu alaikum Baba Ji. मेरी ख्वाहिश है कि मैं आपसे बात करूं. क्या मैं आपसे बात कर सकता हूं? हाँ, आप अभी भी कर लें, कुछ लिखें, या अगर आप चाहते हैं आप चैट में भी आ सकते हैं. आप वो रिक्वेस्ट करें और मैं आपको चैट में लाऊंगा, फिर हम बात कर सकूंगा. Sabahat Arshad, is Islam allow it? Yes. See, you have to understand that when the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, took all the idols out of the Kaaba, he did not take out the pictures of Jesus and Mary. So the true prophets of God and the true saints of God, they are allowed in Islam. Even their pictures are allowed. So I have said this before, that in Islam, the pictures of Holy Prophet Muhammad even are not allowed. So that is because the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, was very humble, and he did not want people to have his picture. It wasn't a prohibition, because he allowed the pictures of Jesus and Mary in the Kaaba. This is what I've been told. So temples which are based on ignorance and which are based on sinful practices, those may not be allowed. But temples which are based on revealed scriptures, which are based on true principles of religion, worship of one God, they are not only allowed, they are supported. The early Christians, early in the sense of in early Muslim history, the Christians who were under the control of the Muslim governments, they were supported by the Muslim governments. They were encouraged to have their monasteries and their churches. So Islam allows other religions. It only disallows fake religions. Hinduism is a true religion. It teaches only one God. Of course, a lot of Hindus may misunderstand that, but I think most Hindus understand there's really only one God. They sometimes, like the Christians, also make the same mistake. Christians often think that Jesus is God because they love him so much they can't imagine he's not God. So that's what I've been told. Because once I had a fight with a pastor here. He was a friend of mine. He is a friend of mine. And in the church, I sometimes would go to his church. And once I became upset at him because he was saying Jesus is God. So I said, you cannot say Jesus is God. Jesus himself never said he was God. In fact, he denied that he was God. So how can you say it? So then we got in kind of an argument of we both raised our voices. Then when I came home and I was praying and meditating, I heard the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, tell me that was not good, what you told to that pastor. You became angry and you were shouting at him right in his church. That's not very good Muslim thing to do. And he said, they love Jesus so much that they think of him as God. He's not God, but they think of him out of love. So you should, be a little more, I'm trying to remember exactly how he explained it, but this is, as far as I can recall, this is what he was saying. He said, they love Jesus so much. So you should not, you should, especially right in their church, you should not argue and raise your voice against them. So in Hinduism also, and other religions also, Buddhism, they sort of deify their prophets. But that's enough. So we should not follow the principle that the Holy Prophet Muhammad followed when he was removing the idols from the pagan temples. Hinduism is not a pagan religion. Hinduism is a revealed religion. So I have no doubt at all about that. There are, how much is it? 124,000 prophets have come, according to Muslim tradition. So where are they? They've come to every people. So in India, prophets like Ram and Krishna and others, they came. So they are real religions. They are real revealed religions. They have been misunderstood and misinterpreted, but every religion has had misunderstandings and misinterpretations. So we should try to be kind and loving to everybody and lovingly encourage them to understand the truth more and more, not repress them and what to speak of what some people want to do is kill even minority religious people. And now even in India, that's what some people in the government even want to do. They want to get rid of all the minorities, force them to either become Hindus or leave India. And some people in India have that program too. So some Muslims in Pakistan have that program too. But that's not true Islam. That's not true Hinduism. Every religion teaches love and kindness and harmony and support. Okay. Ayesha Khan says, Sir, Hinduism may 7 time rebirth hoti hai. It's true or not? No, I never heard that. I have studied Hinduism. In fact, my PhD is in Indian religion more, and mostly in Hinduism, also in Islam and Sikhism some, but there is no talk about 7 times rebirth. I never heard that. Many times. Unlimited practically, depending. When we become purified and love God, then we will go back to live with God eternally in the spiritual world. That's my belief. That's also taught in Hinduism. But until then, we may go to other places after we die. Okay, Imtiaz Ahmed Chana says, I'm not going to read all these, sorry. Lynn Chittick, is there a good book on Illuminati? Boy, I'm sure there are, but the best book that I have recommended already today, which is not only about the Illuminati, but it tells about the Illuminati also, is called Calm Before the Storm by Dave Hayes. That book is available from Barnes & Noble and Amazon, and I got it from Barnes & Noble, and I've read it. I just finished reading it a couple days ago, and it definitely reveals not only about the Illuminati, but especially about what is happening right now in America, and how Trump is fighting against the Illuminati, and how the Illuminati is doing everything they can to try to destroy Trump. Okay, Bismillah Karan says, Acha, Assalamu alaikum, Naila Imran from Japan. Okay, wa alaikum salam. Pray for me. Okay. Oh God, please be merciful to Bismillah Karan. Sarfraz Ahmed. Sir Allan Keislar, you are spreading hope. Thank you. Lynn Chittick says, beautiful, and please see the Constitution Faisal Japanwala just posted about Pakistan and all religions being able to practice. Very good, thank you. Fauzia Jalati says, Salam, why did Trump military order execution of Iranian General Soleimani? Because Iranian General Soleimani was planning some more attacks against America. That's why, as far as I understand. He is, of course, he was a very expert leader of terrorist organization, and he was quite successful, and he was going to be more successful. So the Trump and American military decided they'd better stop him before he becomes more successful. Gulzar Hussain, guide us how to meet Prophet. Just become a good Muslim, pray and do zikr especially, most important. Allah, Allah, Allah. Just pray to God and any name of God from any religion or any language. If you pray from your heart, that is, I think, the best thing to do. And follow his instructions. Be kind to others. Give in charity of your wealth, as we were just reading. This verse from Quran that came today to me. I just arbitrarily open holy books and take whatever verse comes as a sign from God, a message from God. So I'm going to go back to, I just opened the Quran again and just see, this is a different verse. Those who slander such of the believers as give themselves freely to deeds of charity, as well as such as can find nothing to give except the fruits of their labor, and throw ridicule on them, Allah will throw back their ridicule on them, and they shall have a grievous penalty. So give charity. If you have any money, share it with those who have less and who need it. That's a very good thing to do if you want to meet the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, Ruby Makbul, what will happen to Kashmir? I just answered that question already today, and I've answered many times. Kashmir will become independent. Kashmiris will run their own internal affairs, and external affairs of Kashmir will be run by India and Pakistan jointly. I was told more than 20 years ago by a Sufi Baba, baisi nafrat nahi, balke baisi muhabbat. Kashmir will become a cause of love, not only between India and Pakistan, but in the whole world. The Kashmiri people are deeply spiritual people, and they've had a long tradition of harmony. Muslims and Hindus for centuries lived together in Kashmir without these sort of things that are going on now. So that will happen again, and Kashmir will actually be an example of how people can live together in love. And India and Pakistan, of course, will have to work together in trust and love to run the external affairs of Kashmir. And Kashmiris will become citizens of both India and Pakistan. That's what I've been told. And India and Pakistan will become practically one. Indians want, what do they call it? Akhand Bharat. So they will get Akhand Bharat, but it won't be the Akhand Bharat that they are imagining, where the Hindus dominate and control and oppress minorities. It will be the true India. Satyameva Jayate. That is the true India. The motto of India is truth will certainly win, conquer. So truth will conquer in India, and all of these satanic people, Hindutvavadis, they're terrorists. They are creating these incidents like what happened in Bombay, what happened in the Indian Parliament, all these attacks that were blamed on Pakistan. They actually were engineered by these Hindutvavadis. They're not Hindus. They think they're Hindus, but they're anti-Hindus. They're like the current government in India. They are behind, along with foreign, both CIA and Mossad cooperation. They engineer these terrorist incidents, and that will all end. The people of India will understand the truth, and they will reject this Hindutvavadi terrorist, Hindutva terrorism, and love will be established between Pakistan and India, and Kashmir will be the jewel of, will be the most beautiful tourist attraction as it was in the past when I visited there as a child. So I've said this many times. That's what I've been told will happen in Kashmir. I don't know, but this is what I was told many years ago. Seems impossible, but it's what I've been told will happen. Lin Chittick says, spiritual law has to held and his actions are better explained by you. Something's wrong with your grammar. I can't understand it, or else something's wrong with my understanding. Spiritual law has to held and his actions are better explained by you. Maybe you're talking about Modi, I don't know, or Trump, or what. I don't know what you're talking about. You can try to explain it before I end the chat. I hope I can get to your next comment. Saifuddin says, Sir, no, I actually saw your old video in which you suggested Confession of Economic Human by John Perkins. Oh, and you also suggested another book that I could not understand. Confessions of an Economic Hitman, yes, by John Perkins. Yes, that's a very good book. Not to understand the Illuminati, but to understand the CIA-led plan how to gain control of all the governments of the world. First you bribe them, which is what most Pakistani leaders of the recent past have accepted. Millions, billions, trillions, who knows how much money they got by bribes from the Illuminati to do what they wanted. Imran Khan is not accepting their bribes, so they're against him and making so much propaganda against him. So that was the first step, to bribe them. If bribing didn't work, then they would unseat them. They would create chaos in their country so that the people would vote them out of office, or they would do a coup of some kind. And if they could not succeed in that, then they would kill them. This was the CIA's program, which John Perkins in Confessions of an Economic Hitman revealed very clearly. I also suggested another book. I don't know what book you're talking about. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Lin Chittick says, how about a book on Islam and all people practicing, as so many want to convert me to Islam? I had the same experience as a child. It was very unpleasant. I lived in Pakistan as a child, and people were always telling me, why don't you become a Muslim? If you don't become a Muslim, you'll go to hell. People told me that. Totally against the teachings of Islam, against the clear teaching of the Quran. So it's very uncomfortable, isn't it, when people want to convert you to Islam? I've had the same experience. So, well, there's a very good book, actually, which book I read, and I didn't become a Muslim, but I fell in love with the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by reading that book called The Spirit of Islam by Sayyid Amir Ali. So that's a very good book and about Islam, The Spirit of Islam, very, very good book. And if you read that book, you will really understand the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And you will understand that he was not like these Muslims who try to push people. And the Quran plainly says, La ikra fi al-dini, no force in religion. So I don't know how they're trying to convert you, but I had very, very unpleasant experiences often. And finally, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told me, this was in 1983 or 82 or 83, the first time I had vision, ziyarat of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. He told me at that time, because everyone was saying, become a Muslim, you must become a Muslim. And Holy Prophet told me, don't worry, I am pleased with you, just go on doing what you are doing. I was not a Muslim, I did not want to become a Muslim, and the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, said you don't have to become a Muslim. And then the next time I had a vision of the Holy Prophet, in 2012, he told me very clearly, they don't understand what it means to be a Muslim. He said, you, Allan, you understand what it means to be a Muslim. So they don't understand. They're trying to convert you because they don't understand what it means to be a Muslim. They think it means you must have an Arabic name and you must do everything that the Muslims do. The real Muslim simply means somebody who is surrendered to God and who does what God wants and who is loving and kind and truthful, who is just and fair to everyone. That's a Muslim, not what these so-called Muslims think and try to make you a Muslim. If they want to make you a Muslim, they should simply tell you, be a good Christian and be kind and loving and truthful and just. That's a real Muslim. But they don't understand. Lynn Chittick, I love Islam. Yes, I love Islam very much, but not this Islam where people, not this so-called Islam where people push you to convert. That's not Islam. Okay, Javed Iqbal Khokar says, Assalamu alaikum Baba Ji. Oh, this is the same question repeated. Anyway, I will just tell you frankly, I don't have time to talk with everyone that wants to talk with me. But I do try to answer everyone that sends me a private message. तो आप मुझे private message, Facebook private message भेजें और मैं उसको पढ़ने के और आपको जवाब देने की कोशिश करूँगा, लेकिन सबसे लाइव टाइम नहीं है. बहुत सारे लोग मुझसे लाइव चैट करना चाहता हूँ, फ़ोन करना चाहता हूँ वगैरह, नहीं, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, माफ़ करना. शफकत वतू, Trump and Imran both have made the lives of poor very difficult. How can you support them? No, you have misunderstood. Trump and Imran have not made the lives of poor very difficult. The Illuminati has made the lives of the poor difficult. In Pakistan, the international banksters have forced Imran because Pakistan is paying half of its national income for the servicing the debts, the loans, especially to international banksters. So they have made the poor suffer, not Imran. He is doing the best he can in a very, very difficult situation. Similarly, Trump is also, it's a little bit different, but Trump is not the one who is causing poor people. He was doing very well, poor people, increasing jobs. Most people are poor because they don't have work, they don't have a good job. So Trump has greatly increased the employment. And then one of the reasons they did this whole COVID-19 was to destroy all the successes that Trump was having in the American economy and helping poor people get work, everything. So I don't agree with you at all that Imran and Trump have made the lives of poor people very difficult. They have been put in a very difficult situation where both countries trillions of dollars to these international banksters, and they have to pay interest on those debts. So I've said many times, Imran should stop paying that interest. He should just say they're bogus. Those loans are fake. They were given simply to enslave us. They bribed on officials and now Imran is suffering. He has to pay back. I've told him he should stop. I haven't told him personally, but I've announced many times, I've said Imran Khan should stop paying back all of this unbearable burden of debt from these cheating, fraudulent loans. But as long as he's paying them back, the poor people are going to suffer. And he's in a very difficult situation. If he doesn't pay them back, who knows? They may do what they might do. So he's doing his best. You cannot blame him or Trump. Akram Shafi says, how USA, West, especially Israel, got most advanced technologies? Seems to me not human invention. Satanic peoples do Kabbalah, possessed by the devil Satan, so that Satan controlled them. They craft these technologies. Well, a lot of these technologies they did get from extraterrestrial help, and some of those extraterrestrials were satanic people. Maybe Satan directly was controlling them. It's possible. But don't worry, don't give up. Good people also are getting these very, very powerful technologies, advanced technologies, mind control technologies, time travel technologies, very advanced weapons, laser-based weapons. So these technologies have become available to human beings from extraterrestrials. So those who are evil extraterrestrials people, and the good extraterrestrials are giving this technology to good people. So, but they do have it. Both satanic people and good people have these technologies. Okay, there's some very good books. Let me just think a second if I can remember. I can't remember the names of all the books, but Michael Salla is the author. Michael Salla. Michael Salla. I've met him, a very good man, very intelligent. He's written several books about these secret space programs and this highly advanced technology that the American military acquired from extraterrestrials. So look up Michael Salla. Exopolitics.org is his website, I think. But if you do a search for Michael Salla, I gave the spelling, Chaelsalla, and get some of his books, then you will find a much fuller, complete answer to your question. Okay. Wahid Ahmed says, please pray for Taqwa Amma. May Allah bless you and your family. Ya Allah, Taqwa Ahmed par rahm farma. She's very much sick. Oh, we will take a minute and pray for Taqwa Ahmed. She's such a great soul. Ya Allah, Taqwa Ahmed par rahm farma. Okay. Sarah Katak, please, I need advice from you. Just send me a message on Facebook. And, you know, I just mentioned yesterday, my wife has forbidden me from, I get so many messages on Facebook, so many requests for personal advice. She said, you cannot answer them all. You're taking too much time. So I told her, well, why don't you, especially women, I said, so I will ask her to reply to you. She is much more spiritual than I am, much deeper knowledge than I have, and so I will ask her to give you some advice. Quite a few of the women who have asked me for advice, I've given their request to her, and she has given them good advice, so I will do that for you also. Okay. Let's see, Sarah Kartak says, what is your belief about past life regression sessions being done? There seems to be a lot of truth in it because, what was his name? Edgar Cayce, or Casey, C-A-Y. He did not exactly past life regression sessions, but he cured a lot of people of diseases that their doctors could not cure them of. And he gave quite unusual remedies by going into a trance. He would go into a trance and he would see he would do like past life regression sessions himself. He wouldn't hypnotize them, but he himself would go into a hypnotic trance. So he cured a lot of people of diseases that way. So there must be some truth to it, but I don't understand exactly. Book, I guess Lynn Chittick is asking about that book I mentioned. I suggest you read The Spirit of Islam. The Spirit of Islam by Sayyid Amir Ali. I think he spelled it A-M-E-E-R, Ali, A-L-I. So you can find that book, I'm sure, through the internet. Very good. Long time ago. It was written almost maybe 80 years ago, but very, very wonderful book. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is presented so wonderfully in that book. I actually fell in love with him, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, because of reading that book. Sarah Katek, please pray for me from Peshawar. Ya, oh God, please bless Sarah Katek, give her good guidance and truth. Sarah Rana says, sir, in reality, Ghazwa-e-Hind is started. Yes, it was already going on last year on 9th of November when the Kartarpur corridor was opened. I was, peace be upon him. This is our first great victory in the Ghazwa-e-Hind. So it is going on, definitely. Asif Kachela, my brother-in-law is missing since 20 May 2002. Oh my goodness, for 8 years, more than 8. Kindly pray for us, and him kindly request you, better half, also to pray for us. Thanks. Oh God, please bless Asif Kachela and his family. And I will ask my good wife to also pray for you and your family. Okay, I'm going to have to end soon. We've been going on long, and as I said, my son, he's more like my brother than my son because he is very spiritually elevated. He is actually more mature than I am, both spiritually and materially. Very great soul. So he is here with us today. He came yesterday and spent the night here, and so I will have to end pretty soon. But I will try one or two more good questions to find. Lynn Chittick says, yes, stone garden for world peace will be built there in Kashmir. Oh, I didn't even know that. That's very good. Yes, Kashmir will become a good. And Lynn Chittick said, spiritual laws have to be held up. You explained this to me with your discussion. Okay, I'm trying to find one or two more good questions. Sarah Katek, what is your definition of fakir? Fakirs are those people who don't care about money. They don't worry about anything. They just trust in God to provide whatever they need. That's what I understand. Spiritually as well as materially. No worries. No worry about money coming or not. God will send whatever I need. And spiritually also, just trust in God to provide me whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. There's so many comments and questions now. I cannot answer them all. But Sarah Rana says, kindly tell me Gaza started. Yes, it is underway right now. I don't know when it began, but it was underway by November 9th of last year. And Sayyid Imran Hamdani Advocate says, Salam Babaji, sir, when will Golden Islamic Aid Nishatis second will started? When will the Golden Age of Islam start? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Shakil Chowdhury, is this book named Story of Brass Tacks? Oh yes, that is the book. So I recommended every Pakistani must read The Story of Brass Tacks by Sayyid Zaid Hamid Sahib. Yes, definitely. It's not a very long book. It's available in both English and Urdu. And anyone who wants to understand what has really happened in Pakistan, it was written a couple years ago, but it explains how the satanic powers of the world, they tried to destroy Pakistan. They tried to cut off Baluchistan and Sindh and KPK from Punjab and make Pakistan limited only to Punjab. That was their plan. They even had maps. They even made maps. Baluchistan is a separate country. Sindh is a separate country. KPK, northern area, is separate. So that was their plan. And Sayyid Zaid Hamid Sahib actually prevented that by explaining to the Pakistani military what's really going on. And so they were able to counteract all of that terrorism and okay, very good. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Yes, that Saifuddin's, that book I was talking about, The Story of Brass Tacks. Shakil Chowdhury Sahib has written here there. Okay, thank you very much. Peace be with you. Be happy. Don't worry. God is in control. सब कुछ अल्लाह पाक की हाथ में है, तो फिक्र क्यों? वो हमारा सबसे अच्छा दोस्त है और वो